Hi, LiberAnarchy, responding to Divinity and a bunch of numbers. I am basically wanting to call attention to her video down here, link in description. It talks about rights for sex workers and the double standard that people have between sex workers and people who do other jobs, especially women in the sex industry. And I agree, there seems to be this attitude of, well, if a woman doesn't want to get raped or beaten or whatever, then she should not be a stripper, she should not be a prostitute, as though her choice of occupation is somehow responsible for what somebody else does to her. Will that choice of occupation perhaps increase the likelihood, especially if it's prostitution? Yes, but there are deeper issues there involving double standards and stigmas, and society, I think, considers it more okay to abuse a prostitute than, say, a lawyer. And which is weird to me because they are both human beings. But society's fucked. A lot of people want to do things for society, and I'm just like, well, screw that language. I mean, society hasn't done anything for me, so now if you want to do something for actual human beings instead of this concept called society, well, that's different. But getting back to the point at hand, there is very much a double standard. So if a crime happens to a stripper, very often the attitude is like, but you're a stripper, why should we take you seriously? You know, well, yeah, of course you're going to get into a situation where you're beaten or raped or harassed or something like that, because my goodness, you take your clothes off, you're a stripper, what do you expect? And it's like, well, gosh, what do I expect? I expect to be treated like a human being, like anybody else. And it just, I'm frustrated with this attitude of where it's somehow, I mean, it's like this weird holdover from days gone by where a rape was considered to be, oh, well, the woman led him on. Well, she gave mixed signals, so it must be her fault. Or she was wearing clothing that was too revealing, so it must have been her fault. I mean, there are countries today where women who have been raped are tried and convicted of being adulterers and then stoned for being adulterers because they were raped. And this seems to be sort of a holdover from that kind of thinking, where because it's usually a woman, there are certainly men in the sex industry, and they deserve to be treated like human beings as well, so don't get me wrong here, but there seems to be this holdover where if a woman is doing X, Y, and Z, she's somehow responsible for what somebody does to her if somebody should aggress against her in some way. As though men are powerless against the evil seductress or something. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, it does not make sense. I am a firm believer in responsibility to the responsible. Of course, I'm ranting now that I said that I just wanted to call attention to a video. So go down there, link in description. Have fun. Alright. So thanks for listening if you've listened to all of this. Yeah, can you tell it's kind of a sticking point with me? It's like, oh, you do this for a living? Well, then you shouldn't be treated like a human being. You're responsible for what somebody else does to you. Oh, but if, somebody's a doctor or a lawyer or shelf stocker at a Walmart or a musician or whatever. I mean, well, sure, they don't deserve to be aggressed against. Oh, no, no, of course not. But, oh, a sex worker? Oh, well, she's just putting herself out there. And, yeah, well, it's her fault because she's leading people on. She's suggesting things. And what? No, it's not okay. There's sex workers should be treated like human beings, just like anyone else. And if somebody commits a crime against them, then that person who commits the crime should be treated as a criminal. It's not rocket science. Yeah, this isn't one of my normal topics of rants, but yeah. I'm laughing because if I wasn't laughing, I would kind of be just like off the deep end. It's like, no, taking your top off and shaking your titties does not automatically make somebody, get up like an automaton later on and then maybe go, see you behind the club and start, beating the heck out of you and then raping you. No, that's not how it works. If a woman is selling her sexual services as a prostitute, it does not mean that the men are suddenly these mindless automatons being made to, say, not use a condom or to, beat the women or because they won't do something or anything else like that. Please, let's put responsibility where it goes and lose these archaic, messed up double standards.